they just couldn't see him.
Eddie Ricks, another one of the players that came from Morehead State, averages right at 7 a game, but he's 0 for 4 tonight. Hutchins, Everett with the jam. Hutchins, Everett leans in and puts it in.
Nice.
Off the back iron, Hutchins, Everett gets the offensive rebound, takes it up and gets fouled.
It's been dominating, again, not using that term loosely, dominating the Sun Belt play. JMU is 40-13 since joining the Sun Belt.
Double screen up top.
You look there again, they're really liking that matchup where you've got Hutchins, Everett against Pope.
And the shot goes down. Good. Benson doesn't shoot or take a lot of twos, but he makes one there, averaging 9.8 per game.
Yeah, Benson's one that Texas State really needs to get on a roll tonight. He can help keep it, I want to say keep it close. He can really score in bunches. Great move inside.
Hutchins, Everett goes. Drennan, who goes left corner. Turner shot rolls off the rim. Rebound saved in. JMU will bring it up, leading by 7. Freeman, Brown, Ricks, Hutchins, Everett, and Smith on the floor. In the lane, stop sign there. Xavier Brown. Now Hutchins, Everett. Left-handed shot. Morgan, Drone, Benson, Ogaro, Deere. Dribble through the lane. Brown shot doesn't go, but been so big lead. I was going to say Benson averaging 9.8 points per game. Had just 7 against Troy on Tuesday. Hutchins, Everett inside the lane, catches a lot of.
Just like we said, how that was a tough shot by Hutchins, Everett. That was a tough shot down there for the Bobcats by Tyrell Morgan. Great defense by JMU. Morgan was just able to elevate a little bit higher and knock it down there right in the middle of the paint.
Texas State 11 of 16 from the floor in the second half. Freeman getting a screen from Hutchins, Everett. Hutchins, Everett down the lane, up and over Morgan, easy peasy. In the purple, Texas State in the white. On the drive, weaving through the lane. Brown leaves it short. There with the putback. Hutchins.
Mention came into this game leading the league in free throw shooting percentage. And they've missed some real key buckets, some opportunities tonight.
Hutchins, Everett over Morgan.
What about a three-point shot? He drives over a daisy cross-court pass, open three-point shot, in and out. Rebounded by the Williams.
Yeah,
resets the offense, gets it to Freeman.
Yeah, we've just got it in protected.
Oh, good pass down low to the big man, Elijah Hutchins and Everett, and he drew 11 as we approach 5 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of thought Young might go up with it when he got it because he was in his range from the three-point line.
Hutchins and Everett will step out and shoot a three. My goodness, when you got a 6'11 guy who can shoot a and Gopo, 3 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass. I don't know how he got that off to Smith, but right there, big number 4, Elijah Hutchins and Everett.
James Madison will get its first possession of the afternoon. The inbound will come from Bryce Lindsey going into Noah Williams, getting a start today. One of the 6 seniors, recognized along, of course, with Mark Freeman, who has had a fabulous season with James Madison and has been really instrumental in this current winning streak for JMU. Here's the starting 5 for the Dukes in Freeman, Lindsey, Williams, Smith, and Hutchins Everett. So Xavier Brown not starting today, but Freeman is. Inside it goes to Hutchins Everett, and he puts it off the glass. Come back. And by the way, with Mark starting today, that was his 100th career start, as he is playing in his 142nd career game.
Well, and he's a coach's dream because he can start and give you everything you need, but he can also come off the bench and won't show any different attitude in the way he approaches the game.
Freeman on ice skates there, it looked like, gets it inside. A nice seal, really favoring, even if you've got a good record. Freeman, too strong. He's got to go back. Only 2 to shoot. The foul and the bucket. Brown steps back. That is going to be way shy, but Freeman can't get enough English, but there to drop it.
Won't be able to stay with that a whole lot longer.
Freeman off the glass. Weak side, put back.
And I'll tell you the problem.
Wants to drive, bounces it inside. Hutchins Everett powers, a little too strong. Lindsey make that, trying to follow it up. And it is Hutchins Everett.
And then your big guy's not there to block out the backside, leading to the offensive rebound.
In addition to 9.6 rebounds per game, Mullen averages 10 points per ball game as well. Backing it down again, Hutchins Everett. A little elbow, got away with something there.
And that offensive skill set.
He's fourth in points and average points at 16.3 points per game in the Sun Belt. Down low it goes. Mullen guarding against Hutchins Everett, who gets the favorable hop.
Going to bounce back a little bit, which creates some space for him to get his shot off.
He's second in the Sun Belt in every rebounding category. Came in with 260 tonight. That ranked 13th nationally. And getting in on the transition for Georgia Southern to go back to the Sun Belt, as they had been in the league for about 8 years. Might have been a couple of years longer than that, actually. That should have been 8, about 8. And Everett, Hutchins Everett.
At Duke and North Carolina on a yearly basis. Then you move to the Sun Belt. Not that it's any easier. Sun Belt's still going to make you work for it, but you're aware of the talent level and you're ready to compete.
Hutchins Everett backing down Brown, and he makes it look easy.
So to knock that shot down is big for him and his confidence.
Sonny Wilson off the bounce. That was blocked by the really versatile Eddie Ricks III, who got his paw to it. Coach Preston Spradlin said he can guard any position 1 through 5. Nobody guarded Elijah Hutchins Everett there.
Yeah, miscommunication in 7 of his last 9. And with that being the case, all 5 starters over the course of this 7 ball games, 7 out of 9 ball games, have all been in double figures. You get 5 guys in double figures, good things happen. Consequently, Toledo's won 4 in a row.
That's a mismatch, and it pays off. Elijah Hutchins Everett at 6.
Valdez hits the second of the 2 tries.
Troy is plus 92 at the foul line for the year. So that gives a lot of credibility to how they attack the rim. They haven't shot the 3 well. They've made up for it at the free throw line.
These are the 2 teams with the greatest amount of depth in the Sun Belt. As hitting the 3-pointer from the top, among other stats. Freeman, high off the glass, tapped up. Hutchins Everett on the second try. Of JMU defenders there, but he still jukes and jabs his way around to find a little bit of space, just enough to drop in a deuce.
He's a definition of scorer. He is not a pristine shooter, but he can find ways to will the ball in the basket and has multiple ways that he can score.
Hutchins Everett in the keyhole. Eyes it, takes the shot, 2-pointer. Wow, it barely touched this year. Gives him a bucket of ball game.
97th ranked player in the country when he came out. We talked about this the other night. Schools like Old Dominion can get top 100 players in the age of the portal.
And the first little hook shot for trying to defend. Up in the air goes the defender Ricks, and the shot comes off flat. Lindsey gets the board on the opposite side. Freeman looking to get it into the lane, but nothing doing there. They get the post pass down to the left block. Spin move for Hutchins Everett. Little hooking there. Short shot. Good. Down just a bit. Here goes Lindsey. Lindsey on the drive. Hutchins Everett comes in to grab the board. Dewar Gordon peeling to the left side. Gets that partially deflected. Ricks was involved in it defensively for James Madison. And the Dukes come up with another defensive rebound. Very few offensive boards today for the Monarchs. Hutchins Everett way away from the basketball. Steps in, tosses it up and tumbling down. As Darren said, a lot of 1-2 punches when both these teams were in the Colonial back in the early 90s. We mentioned Oliver Purnell coaching at Old Dominion and Lefty Driesell coaching at James Madison around that stretch.
was a great time to be growing up in the Shenandoah Valley and around the Colonial Athletic Association.
Actually, the commissioner is here today, the former commissioner of the CAA, and Tom Yeager. And a nice finish for game.
Hutchins Everett a little gimpy coming up the floor for James Madison. Running the point, it is Xavier Brown out of Williamsburg, Virginia. Hutchins Everett, second touch of the evening. Will bang down low with Amenhauser. Back out it comes. Lindsay eyed the three, gets a position. Here's a three-point try from the left corner, and it is good. Majok, a graduate student as well from Fishers, Indiana, out of Cleveland State, so a former Viking. Also was at Mizzou for a time. Banging down low, just enough of the...
And Coastal's sitting at 50 right now. That's the wrong direction.
And Hutchins Everett with his second chance. Madison has led by as many as 10 and has a possession right here to equal or go beyond that. 15 to shoot in this possession for the Dukes. And there is the bucket off the bank.
55, you can't forget that, Dave. It's a big fella.
Sun Belt Conference officials, opening tip won by JMU. We're underway here at Atlanta. Quickly into the front court, Xavier Brown. Out front to Ricks. Panthers start out 2-3 zone. They get it to Hutchins Everett in the paint. Going to be tough to stop. Jump hook.
Yes, behind the arc and knocks it down for the Panthers. A much-needed bucket for the Panthers.
9 points for Chenari Lane. He leads the way for Georgia State. 3 for 5 behind the three-point line. Freeman drives, leaves it underneath for Hutchins Everett.
Get on the books, and that was a perfect pick by McMullen, and he knocks it down.
Georgia State back to within 6. Jump hook, going to push it. So the Dukes will inbound. Basically running 3 guards right now. They get it inside to Hutchins Everett. He goes up against a double team and just powers it up. And
5 of his 8 attempts in the last game and just missed the first one here tonight. Now that one doesn't go, and boy, this is contagious now. So he's 3 for his last 10. And again, it was a 78% shooter coming into the game and well over 80 prior to the previous game. In the post, Hutchins Everett with Danny Pounds, who just checked in on him. And Hutchins Everett, a little physical there on Brandis and Michael Swabata, our officiating crew here tonight. All right, with 3 on the clock, Lindsay pump fakes, passes it, and somehow off the window prior to the...
For Coach Dustin Kearns in his 6th season with the Mountaineers. Up and under, in and out it goes. Rebound, Hutchins Everett. So the top 2 rebounders for the Dukes get the first 2 off the defensive glass today. Freeman finds Hutchins Everett, goes up, loses the handle as it was tapped away by Connors, collects it and scores it. Recorded, it was on that movement on the baseline.
That's a good point. Great tip in.
Tapped in.
Had 21 in their last game. That's his 5th game this season with 20 or more points.
Down low, patience, bucket.
Yeah, good point, Kurt. And nearly tipped it in.
Eyeing the 3, Nutter comes up short. Brown protects the basketball as he gets the carom. Down to 4 minutes to play in the opening stanza. Freeman gets loose, keyhole, drops it off, layup.
That's as nice as you're going to see it done.
Bench as he'll start right there.
Last week, Marshall came out of the halftime break making 4 of 5 threes to start that second stanza, and they finished the game with 13 of them. That tied a season high. See what happens here in this half.
Well, Marshall has the MO of throwing the first punch, if you would, and whether it's at the beginning of the ball game or the beginning of the half, they definitely want to do that. But instead, there's the bucket. Hutchins Everett, he's got 8. Pushes right side. Dawson launches in a hurry. Rims the cup. Batted around. And a chilly killing ball taken away by Freeman. Freeman says slow it up here.
I think Marshall has come out with more intensity in this half, playing better defense, forcing the Dukes into some very difficult shots if they get them at all.
Here the big fellas go at one another, down to the right block, and a chilly killing.
Oh,
can't defend him.
He lost his footing. Auditorium, I believe.
Yes, correct. Tossed up, tapped out. Williams has it for James Madison. Hands it off to Brown.
Save for that last shot. Marshall shooting much better in this half, 67%. Now 6 of 10 from the field and 3 of 6 from long range. That's after shooting 22% in the first half. That was in Orlando?
That championship that you saw, yeah.
Looked nothing like Harrisonburg, exactly.
Here we go. That just snuck on through.
Of James Madison starting out with something to buoy their confidence. It's been a tough sled for them away.
Yeah, they played awesome at home, beating Arkansas State a couple weeks ago. But then at Marshall, they got in a 12, 13-point hole early in the first half. Battled back to take a 1-point lead with about 30 seconds showmanship right there to get the call on Jaleel Boger.
Xavier Brown, the only scholarship player remaining from last year's NCAA tournament participant. Hutchins Everett, active early, and the hook shot good.
Mountaineers are attacking this year. They're getting easy looks in transition.
The tempo right now favoring the way that Dustin Kearns would like to see his team play it. Hutchins Everett inside with toughness, finishes against way out on him on the floor. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Heaves one. That didn't hit the rim, but Hutchins Everett gets the finish.
250, 260, very explosive. A little limited on the offensive end, but a kid that I think could be valuable moving forward just because he's got tremendous size and length, and he's leading them in block shots too.
Hutchins Everett with a tough finish inside. 49, largest lead of the game for App State. Here's Ricks underneath. His finish, no, but the putback by Hutchins Everett is good. That matchup was heavily favored the other way in the opening minutes, but he has done a really good job of finding his footing and going toe-to-toe with JMU's best big man.
Yeah, showed really good patience down at the offensive end, and his aggressiveness this year has just, David, just been off the charts compared to where he was the last several years. You know, like you stated.
Yeah, he's definitely a big guy, and he's a big force for this JMU team inside. Just an inside presence, and allows these guards to be a little bit smaller in the perimeter. They're not very big on the perimeter, but he makes up for it inside with his size.
Spent time at Seton Hall and Austin Peay. Lindsay in trouble. Lindsay now gets it into the gentleman we were just speaking. Keep an eye on him at all times. Ricks the third looking for a 3. Couldn't get it to go, but the big
range jumper, a little floater. He's running right in there into Hutchins Everett's chest, and that's a big fella, and you're not going to be able
to get to that left hand like JMU did right there.
Had a career-high 31 against Alabama Birmingham earlier this year, and he leads the Sun Belt in the number of shots he has taken. He's came into the game with 200 field goal attempts. Spin up and under. Arkansas nearly repeated the feat that James Madison had last year in the first 2 games of the season. Talk about that Alabama game as Hutchins Everett
clear the offensive glass. Offensive glass and transition defense are really hurting the Dukes right now.
So they are number 3 in the Sun Belt, 33rd nationally in offensive rebounds total, and number 1 in the league, number 21 in the country defensive rebounds. Twice a career high of 31. I mentioned this year against Alabama Birmingham. Did the same against Bowling Green last year in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. And stepping out. Anyway, going back to that game, Vernon Cole had 17 points in that ball game for Arkansas State. Of course, Lefty Driesell was the head coach of the Dukes at the time.
They're not guarding him at all. They're staying 10 feet off of him, but he's putting the ball on the floor, closing the space, and getting good looks.
Three-pointer. More than 2 in the first half. Lindsay, three-pointer. Oh, right there into the hands of Smith. Fumbles with it at first. Everett Williams. Yes, it's a good bucket. For
3 buckets thus far. The basketball team under Coach Mark Byington started to bring that same type of reputation.
I'm a little concerned by it if I'm JMU.
Elijah all alone lays it up and in.
Now Southern
ball clear on out.
On our replay, Hutchins Everett bumps and pumps it in. He picks up points number 6 and 7.
That was a big-time move. Switched the ball to his left hand in midair and finished off the glass.
He's 3 for 8. Short shot is good for Hutchins.
So I'm sure both coaches will be watching very closely.
Now the Dukes have opened up conference play. They lost a week ago yesterday at South Alabama, and that was a decisive loss. So JMU also trying to clean up a few things before they get back into the real brunt and the grind of the Sun Belt Conference, and that'll happen here on Thursday night. They go inside right away, and no, tonight's ball game, first of all, for the visitors from Midway in these starting lineups, presented to you by the Atlantic Union Bank, Wales, Keaton, Van Hook, Henry, and Smith. And we'll take a look at Preston Spratlin's crew in just a moment. As here is his starting 5: Mark Freeman, Xavier Brown, A.J. Smith, been a rebounding machine for the Dukes, Eddie Ricks III, and Hutchins Everett. And Hutchins Everett with another bucket. 2006.
Well, that was a great run, but he did a lot more than just that. He was always a great coach.
Yes.
But that was the cherry on. The margin is so great that the ending is no longer in doubt in terms of who wins and who loses, but both teams want to get better at what they do.
Hutchins Everett, that's elevated. The rebound for the Dukes. And there's a slam.
Active as they were. Let's see if South's hands in this possession are where they need to be. JMU's attacking in early offense too now a little bit more than they were, Pat.
So Freeman, who has 2 threes, gets it to Lindsey. Inside to Ricks.
There's a diagonal.
Think about the 3 and go back inside the big man. Hutchins Everett turnaround jumper is good over Orton.
Indeed, too. A lot of these players are coming through relationships. Recruiting, yes, but a lot of relationships over the years. And South last couple of years is
won by 6. They only shot 13 threes. That's the fewest three-point attempts in the Steve Forbes era in Winston-Salem. Now, this is obviously a Wake Forest team that has been struggling from beyond the arc all season long. Inside, it's the big man, Elijah Hutchins, fortuitously gives Hunter Salas an easy deuce.
A way to get Salas going today, attack the offensive glass. Wake Forest has got to be able to hold their own rebounding against this James Madison team.
Watch the Dukes shoot around today. They practice with a purpose. They're 6-4. They haven't won on the road yet this year, but they're coming off one of their best performances of the season in their last game, which also was 10 days ago. Inside, Elijah Hutchins.
Three with all those bodies or not, but it could be a pretty legitimate game.
Yeah, Tanner started his career at BYU, but found himself in a very deep pool of wings. And speaking of a deep pool, that's why we went down there.
Sounds like a nice trip. JMU's played really well, but this is kind of an important segment coming here because Utah Valley's really trying to make a charge.
Taylor dumps it off, shovels the pass, and with the 3 fouls.
That play.
Yes.
Because if JMU scores now, instead of it being 9, it goes back to 13 or 14. That's a big difference this late in the game.
Anderson dribbles it on out, gets Freeman looking for the screen. Screen goes underneath. Still a screen working for him. Lindsey. Shot clock down to 5. Duke's got to do something with it. And the bucket. How about that? Anderson chases. Man, they've had so many just so close.
You took the words right off my tongue. They've probably missed 6, 8, 10 bunnies that you normally would think they probably make. Good look.
And there comes a slam. He had all day. They just another transfer from Moorhead. Driving, Freeman, fadeaway shot off the iron. He hits the floor. Basketball does not, and JMU will get a restart here with Hutchins Everett grabbing the board.
A drive by Xavier Brown. Three-pointer by the big fella, and it's good. Well, and the other thing, too, I must also say, is that Brooks Savage, he is a big Bryce Lindsey fan. I think he would have liked to have had him as well. Good, as Haynes was very effective here. He scored 20 against the Dukes inside from George Mason. But he has not shown up in that regard. Coming off a win over Austin Peay. That was a 79-57 win over the Governors. And a second 3% now for ETSU. 8 of 26 on trays. That's 31%.
And see what JMU goes with out of the timeout here. Gonna isolate down on the post.
Little hook shot just does get enough over.
It's a good play. Got him a really good look. But if I'm ETSU, I want Seymour Peterson to touch the ball there for sure.
Sixth rebound for Hutchins Everett to go with his 14 points. He is battling right now with Bradford. A Wake Forest transfer. Backing him down. Three. Off the glass. Points Everett. And the pass comes back out. Wide open for Freeman. That's a good-looking shot, but it won't fall for him. Rebound batted around. Smith comes up with it. A.J. Smith off the glass. But the follow-up, number 4, Elliott.
We'll take it out underneath. No shot on the play.
We got Haynes at 6'8", the wide body, and then Imajuru at 6'11", and they've signed a 6'9" player. As that's driven in. One thing Coach Skin said about Haynes, he might be their best passer, not being a point guard.
Right.
The big fellows on the right block, making the drop step and dropping it in is Hutchins. Montverde Academy is where he was before he went to ETSU. Hutchins Everett, left-handed.
Nice. Really nice.
Another one by Lefter Giselle, and then a 10-game winning streak by Jim Larinaga. So the L's meant W's for the series.
You named some pretty good coaches there. Campanelli, Drizel, and Larinaga.
All those mean so much to their own programs, and there's the big fella.
Utuka now averaging 8.2 thanks to that opening game where he exploded. Brown. Hutchins Everett at least appeared to think about a three. He'll get it in the post now and go up and over Niago and put it in for. Give him 7 now on the day. The lead is 1 now for JMU, working with it. Hutchins Everett down low, beating and banging against Niago. Still working in the paint. Tough shot goes. He'll leave it off for Ricks, who will throw it kind of at the for Brigham Jr., the senior. Ricks, great pass down low, and Everett another bucket. He's a fun player to watch. 3 straight away. Mason Nicholson puts it in. He now in double figures to 10 points. Hutchins Everett, nice turnaround. As I mentioned in the first half, Preston Spradlin has put together a very solid unit in my opinion. And I would expect success with him at the helm of this program after 20-win seasons in all 4 years at the helm of the Morehead State Eagle program. What a look. A great. Back with you here at the Boardwalk Battle. The Ocean Center in Daytona Beach, Florida, the host for this event. A great venue. soon to get a major renovation. New subfloor, new game floor, new bleachers, the works as Hutchins. Xavier Brown works against Hayden Gray, now goes to Freeman. Lindsay looking for Hutchins.
From right here in Baltimore, went to St. Francis.
Yes.
Transfer from Texas A&M.
Nick Miles, product from St. Francis, like Bub Carrington, who's playing for the Wizards. St. Francis continues to produce because they're wonderful coaching staff.
And a goaltend going to be...
Get your other own offensive rebound. Grab it with two hands, go up, and then go back up and score. Don't try to tap it.
Now Hutchins Everett drives and he lays it in.
Had some guys. Drexel Center went to Kentucky. That's part of the biz. Fran Duffy and LaSalle, they have a new arena. They fixed it. This guy's really turned that program around. They're in first place right now in the A-10.
Freeman gets it up top to Smith. Over to Brown. Hutchins Everett down low. Goes up with it and banks it home.
Can't let him get that close to the back.
Indiana and by... If you remember Julian Wooden, he played at Northside High School under Billy Pope. Well, By also from that program.
And you know, as a Spotswood guy, that's 2 layups Barry Baldwin's gotten already. That's something Jamie's not going to be happy about.
Smith here, the right wing to Freeman. So a roll and off the glass, easy bucket for. Trying to go over the top. Very good patience there for the big man.
5 guards out there, so they can handle the ball, they can handle pressure, and they can make threes. And so far, they've done enough of that to keep this a close game.
Oh, Coach Eco said even in Division III standards, he feels like his team is undersized in many ways. And the double action there for Smith. Tell you, they're just chucking it up and letting Mr. Hutchins Everett go.
Do you burn the legs of your best players here in a situation like this?
Yeah, and that game's 30 minutes south of Stanton down in Lexington.
He went on to climb the ladder. Different assistant coaching jobs throughout the country on the D2 landscape. And here we are. Mary Baldwin, head coach, his first head coaching job. You know, whenever we heard from Daniel Eco, Kurt, and Kirby, you could tell there was so much enthusiasm and so much passion he has for this job.
Now they've broken down. They're really going a lot of one-on-one. I don't think that's the answer for them. I think they need to stay disciplined and try to look for those backdoor cuts and those easy looks and make JMU defend for 30 seconds rather than going one-on-one in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock.
Brown picks up his dribble, finds Hutchins Everett, and he's just too big down there to handle. Product from Raleigh, North Carolina. Bunn, North Carolina. Slipping it in, and the jam for...
Game coming out in the second half.
Skipping a pass into the corner.
Held his footing, did Williams. Needs some help. He finds it. Hutchins Everett. It's a 6-point. That's as close as the Bobcats have been since it was 14-8. That's when JMU had gone on a 10-0 run to get to that lead. Round and around and around she goes. She'll fall
up there and come away 0 for 2. And you're trying to hang in the game here late. Trying to make one final push.
Brown turns the corner, kicks it out. Here's a three-pointer from the big man.